and to keep the faith of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus.
That's right.
And we've got to be humble in this. Can you go to Matthew 23? You've got to be humble, otherwise the Most High is going to humble you. You either humble down or get humbled down, basically.
That's right. That's right.
Matthew 23 and verse 12.
Bring it out.
And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted.
Right. So if you exalt yourself, then the Most High is going to bring you down. And if you humble yourself, then he's going to raise you up.
That's right.
You know, you can't go around exalting yourself. How many people do you know, you grew up with a man, you know, he kind of got into that way of life, became a big gangster, and, you know, he's saying, oh, no one can take me out. Where is he now?
That's right.
Or he's saying, feds can never catch me. But where's he now? Because he exalted himself and he got humble.
That's right.
Maybe James 4 and 10. And someone get 1 Peter 5 and 6.
This is 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 6. Humble yourselves and therefore under the mighty hand of Yahweh, that he may exalt you in due time.
Right, so he'll exalt you in due time, in the right season.
That's right.
When it's time for you to be exalted. But you can't get prideful. When you get exalted, you can't. Someone get 1 Corinthians 8 and 1. You can't start getting puffed up with knowledge and start thinking just because you know something that you're something special. Because you were still in the world doing evil, doing all kinds of evil and wickedness.
That's right.
So you need to be humble.
James 4 and verse 10. 4 and verse 10. Humble yourself in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up.
Right. He shall lift you up. He's the one that does. You can't lift yourself up or he's going to bring you down and destroy you.
That's right.
Psalms 96 verse 4. For the Lord is great and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods.
No, above some God.
Above all gods.
Above all gods. He's the only living power.
That's right.
Someone get me Sirach chapter 1 verse 30, because if you go about to establish yourself on high, then the Most High is just going to expose you. He's going to destroy you, and you think it can't happen, but you can see it time and time again. Everybody knows someone in the world who puffed out his chest and walked around like a big man. But where is he now? He's not on high anymore.
Sirach 1 and verse 30.
Bring it out.
Exalt not thyself, lest thou fall, and bring dishonor upon thy soul. And so Yahweh discovered thy secrets, and cast thee down in the midst of the congregation.
Right, in the midst of the congregation. That means he's going to expose all the dirty little things that you're doing to everybody. And you're not going to be that great man anymore that you made yourself out to be. So you exalt yourself, you get humbled. But if you humble yourself, then you will be exalted. Does someone get 1 Corinthians 8?
Yeah. 1 Corinthians 8 and verse 1. Now, as touching these things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth.
Right, knowledge puffeth up. Some people, and I can admit, when I first came into this truth, I started to get a bit prideful sometimes, thinking that was something special, but you got to humble down, or you get
That's
humbled.
right.
It's humble or get humbled, right? Knowledge puffeth up. Some people come into this truth, and they start kind of throwing their weight around, you know, speaking out of time, claiming that they know the scriptures, but where are they now? They're not in this truth anymore. They're somewhere bugged out, back in the cut smoking weed somewhere or something.
Matthew 11 and verse 29. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls.
Right, so he said, learn of me. What does that mean? That means start keeping his ways and doing the things that he does.
That's right.
He says that he's humble and lowly, and meek. That's what we need to be. If we want to be Christ-like, if Christ is lowly and he's the King of Kings, what does that mean for us, his servants?
That's right.
That means that we have to be meek and humble and lowly.
Right.
Someone Someone grab precept. Oh, you got precept?
Ecclesiasticus 4:28. Strive for the truth until death, and the Lord shall fight for you.
Right. Strive unto the truth until death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. Even when it's getting tough, even when it's crunch time, and it's not looking like you're going to make it out, the Lord will give an escape. And we've got plenty of examples of that in the scriptures, where brothers were close to death, but the Lord gave them that escape. And we're going to go to the scriptures and get some examples of some brothers who exalted themselves and got humble, because these are living words. These are actual events that happened so that we could learn today.
That's right. Leviticus 10 and verse 1. And Nadab and Abihu, the son of Aaron, took either of them his censer, and put fire therein, and put incense thereon, and offered strange fire before the Lord, which he commanded them not.
Right, so they offered something that the Lord never commanded them to offer. They got prideful and started going about doing their own thing. But let's see what happened to those brothers when they didn't want to do what the Most High wanted them to do. They wanted to do their own thing.
And there went out fire from the Lord and devoured them, and they died before the Lord.
Right, so they died before the Lord. They got humbled in the worst way. Down near the worst way. There's worse ways to go out. But they got humbled when they exalted themselves. Somebody grab Numbers 14:42. You know, because there's plenty of examples in the scriptures where people exalt themselves and they get humble.
Numbers chapter 14 and verse 42. Go not up, for the Lord is among you.
Right, so this is some brothers going up to fight, I believe it was the Amalekites, and it might have been Midianites. But the Lord had never told them to go do that yet. So he's not among them, and we know that the Lord is the one that gives the victory. So read on.
That ye may not be smitten for your enemies. For the Amalekites and the Canaanites are there before you, and ye shall fall by the sword, because you are turned away from the Lord. Therefore the Lord will not be with you.
So the Lord wasn't with them. So does it say what happened to them?
But they pursued to go up onto the hilltop. Nevertheless, the ark of the covenant of the Lord and Moses departed not out of the camp. Then the Amalekites came down, and the Canaanites which dwelt in the hill, and smote them and discomfited them even unto Hormah.
So they went and they tried to fight when the Most High never told them to. So the Lord wasn't with them, and they got destroyed.
That's right.
They exalted themselves and they got humbled. It's the same thing over and over again. Somebody grab Acts chapter 19 and start at verse 13, Bible shop. Because we've got these living examples in the
Acts
scriptures.
19 and verse 13. Then certain of the vagabond Jews, exhorters, took upon them to call over them which had evil spirits the name of the Lord Yahushua, saying, we adhere you by Yahushua, whom Paul preached. And there were 7 sons of one Sceva, a Jew and chief of the priests, which did so. And the evil spirit answered and said, Yahushua I know, and Paul I know, but who are you?
Right, so these brothers, they weren't in the spirit going in, trying to take these spirits out. They were probably going in for fame, for glory. They weren't in the right spirit, trying to cast out these spirits. So let's see what happened to these brothers.
And the man in whom the evil spirit was leapt on them, and overcome them, and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of the house naked and wounded. Right,
so another case, they exalted themselves and they got humble. Alright. Somebody grab 1 Maccabees chapter 5 verse 56, and someone get Romans 4:15 on the shot. I'm going to give one more example, and you know, it's deadly as well. A lot of these brothers are dying. You know, it's not. Molly. Alright, so yeah, we've got to be humble in this truth. You can't come in and start throwing your weight around just because you've got a bit of knowledge. We all have knowledge, you know, but the Most High loves the underdog. The Most High loves the underdog. He doesn't like the guy that walks around with his chest out, his head on high, with a proud look.
First Maccabees 5 and verse 56. Joseph, the son of Zacharias, and Zachariah, captain of the garrisons, heard of the valiant acts and warlike deeds which they had done. Wherefore they said, let us also get us a name and go fight against the heathen that are round about us.
So Judas Maccabees and his brothers were fighting against the Edomites, the Greeks, to establish independence in the land. You know, but they were doing that for the nation, for the love of their people. They were humble about it. But these brothers said, oh, we can go get some fame. We can go get a name for ourselves. So they went out with pride, and let's see what happened to them.
So when they had given charge unto the garrison that was with them, they went towards Gemma. Then came Jarius and his men out of the city to fight against them. And so it was that Joseph and Azarias were put to flight and pursued unto the borders of Judea. And they were slain that day of the people of Israel, about 2,000 men.
These brothers who exalted themselves and were prideful cost the lives of about 2,000 people just because they wanted fame, just because they wanted to be known. Judas wasn't doing this for fame. He wasn't out there fighting to get a name for himself. He was fighting for the law, for his people, for the land, fighting for the Most High. But these brothers, they didn't have the right spirit about it. Anyone got Romans? 15 4. 15.
Romans 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever thing were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
Right, so these things were written for us to learn. These events actually transpired for us to learn today. And Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Jesus, said, learn of him, for he is lowly and meek. Learn of him means learn his ways and do his ways. As I said, if he's the King of Kings and the Lord, and we're his servants, and he's humble, Hamashiach washed people's feet. He washed people's feet. I mean, how humble have you got to be the King of Kings, the Lord over your servants, and you're washing your servants' feet?
That's right.
What's that precept? He's come to serve. He was greatest among you. Has come to serve. Is it Matthew? I had it down earlier. I mean, it's not. We'll grab Exodus 2 and 14. It's going to move on to some brothers that were humble and got exalted on the flip side. You know, because we've got to take the bitter with the sweet. You know, it's all right coming out here telling you to be humble and not to exalt yourself, but we've also got to get hope through the scriptures.
This is Exodus chapter 2 and verse 14. And he said, who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intendest thou to kill me, as thou killest the Egyptians? And Moses feared and said, surely this thing is known. Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses, but Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh, and dwelt in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a well.
Right, so Moses had killed an Egyptian for oppressing his fellow Israelite, and you know, he came out and rebuked his brothers who were fighting, and they said, who made you a ruler over us? You know, who are you to, he basically said, who are you? Who are you talking to? He said, who are you? Who made you a ruler over us? But, you know, the Most High made him a ruler. He made him the lawgiver. Someone get Numbers 12 and 3. You know, the Most High made him the ruler over us, and this is why. I'll show you why.
Oh, Numbers verse 12 and verse 3. Now the man Moses was very meek.
No, it's very prideful.
Now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth.
In his time, Moses was the most humble man on the earth. That's why the Most High exalted him, because he humbled himself. Unlike these brothers that we just read about a minute ago, who exalted themselves, they got humbled. Because someone get Daniel chapter 2 verse 21. Because it's the Most High that exalts and humbles. You can't, you can walk around and be prideful, but at the end of the day, the Most High can bring you down. Just like that, it's not a thing to him.
That's right. This is Proverbs 16 and verse 18. Pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall.
Can't. Pride goeth before destruction. As we just read in the scriptures, these brothers were prideful and they got destroyed. A lot of them died. A lot of people died because of their pride. You know?
Better is it to be of a humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. He that handleth a matter. Yeah, that's it.
Can't. Better to be with the lowly than, some of the proud might have a lot of riches, they might have a lot passing around, a lot on the table, a lot to offer, but it's better to be lowly and have nothing than to sit with these men and take part in their sins.
That's right.
Daniel 2 and 21. And he changed the times and the seasons. He removed kings and set up kings.
He does what?
He removed kings and set up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding.
Right. So he's the one that sets up kings. He's the one that brings kings down. Any king that you can name in history. You learned about kings in your history books. Any king you can name. Any pharaoh, any King Henry the whatever. He set them up and he brought them down. It's the Most High that does that. So
That's
you can't
right.
exalt yourself. You gotta be humble. Alright.
Chapter 14.
Matthew chapter 24 verse 46.
Bring it on!
Blessed is that servant who is Lord, when he come shall find doing so. Verily I say unto you, that he shall make him ruler over all his goods.
Beautiful precept. Because he's lowly, he'll be ruler over all of his goods. Is that a precept?
This is Romans chapter 14 and verse 7. Bring it out! For none of us liveth to himself, and no man dieth to himself. Whether we live unto the Lord. Whether we die unto the Lord. Whether we live therefore or die, we are the Lord.
Can't. We're in his hands.
Bro, I just want to know what religion is this, please?
Yeah, this is not a religion.
Or what is
This
it?
is our heritage in the Bible.
Heritage.
You believe in, can I ask what's your nationality?
Sorry?
What's your nationality?
Oh, I'm Nigerian.
Nigerian.
Yeah.
Nigerian. Is your father Nigerian as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you
No, I'm not. I'm southern part Calabar.
So do you believe in the Bible?
Yeah, I do.
You do? You
Yeah.
believe in the Bible? Who are you in the Bible? Who is your people in the Bible? Because all people are recorded in the Bible. Every nation, any people you see, they're recorded in the Bible. So it's important to know who you are in the Bible. Do you know who you are?
Yeah, to be honest, the religion just passed to you from your parents. You know what I mean? You don't just whatever they tell you, grow up with it, and you just inherit it. You seems to believe it. Like.
Yeah, 'cause that's all you know.
Yeah.
That's all you know.
That's what you know. Yeah.
But the thing is, there's a lot of lies being perpetuated in the world.
That's right.
And a lot of our parents believe these lies and they teach it to us. In a clear conscience, they think they're teaching us what's right. But a lot of these things, they're just perpetuating lies that they've been taught. They don't know that they're lying to you, but we have to go to the Bible for ourselves. We can't have a pastor telling us about the Bible when all he does is say, the Lord is my shepherd, and then speaks a bunch of nonsense. He doesn't even bring out the Bible, you know what I'm saying? So,
Deuteronomy chapter 32 verse 8. When the Most High divided to the nation their inheritance, when he separated the of Adam, he set the bound of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
Right. So he separated all the people, and they all kind of have their own name, their own nation, their own sort of customs, traditions. So according to the Bible, you would be an Israelite, most likely from the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, or Levi.
That's right.
Have you ever heard that before?
Yeah, I've heard that.
You heard that? What do you know about it?
Well, not much. Just exactly what you read. That's what I know. Yeah.
Somebody grab me Deuteronomy chapter 1 verse 1, and somebody get
Deuteronomy 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spoke unto all Israel on this side of Jordan in the wilderness.
right. So all through the book of Deuteronomy, that's the first verse of the book. So it's just letting you know that throughout this book, it's letting you know who he's speaking to. Moses is speaking to Israel. So anywhere we go into this in that book, he's speaking to Israel. So can somebody grab Deuteronomy 28 and 1?
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou wilt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Now, is the so-called black man above everybody in society right now, or is he below everybody in society? Generally speaking.
Well, the way they classify us, we kind of below, don't we? But I don't think, personally, I don't think anyone is above anyone.
The Israelites are chosen above everybody. God made them better than everybody else.
Yeah.
Somebody get Deuteronomy 7 and 6. But what I mean is, who owns all of this? It's not the so-called black man, is it? No.
I think the Israelites, they cannot be, they feel like according to the like chosen one.
The chosen
The
one.
chosen one.
Yeah, the chosen one.
That's what the
God's
Bible-
chosen people.
Yeah.
Deuteronomy 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So the Most High chose Israel to be above all people. He's better than everybody else. And I know everybody likes to believe that everybody's equal, but it's just simply not the case. Israel were made better than everybody else. Israel tends to be the best in sports, the best in music, just anything that Israel put their hands to, they just seem to excel everybody else because the Most High made them that way. And this is the Most High's word. It doesn't sound fair to some people, but he gets to choose the rules, you know? He gets to choose who's on top and who's on bottom. That's right.
Deuteronomy 14 and verse 2. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself, above all nations that are upon the face of the earth.
Right. So just re-establishing the same fact.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 9. Romans 9 and verse 15. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion.
Right, so he gets to choose who will have mercy on, who will have compassion on, because he's the Most High. He's the man in charge, really. So he gets to choose these things.
Romans 9 and verse 21. Have not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor?
Right, so the potter, somebody who's making like a clay pot, he has the power over the clay. If he wants to make one clay pot that's extremely beautiful, you can put it on the mantelpiece, people come round, oh that's nice, you can show it off to people. If he wants to do that, he can do that. Likewise, if he wants to make one that he just wants to smash, just for the fun of it, he wants to make it and destroy it, just why the hell not? He can do that. It's the same with the Most High. He created all people. He gets to choose who will have honor and who will have dishonor, basically. But
Something, the most interesting part of what you guys are doing, because before I've seen you guys before, but I think you guys are not reading from the Bible. But when I look at it, it's the same Bible.
Right, right.
It's very interesting. I don't know.
And you don't see these Christian pastors reading the Bible out here. They might come out with a microphone and just start talking, but they don't bring out the Bible like we do.
But the thing is, the thing about them, don't get me wrong, I'm Christian, but the thing about them, they interpret it differently.
Yeah.
Like people interpret it based on their own knowledge.
Right.
It shouldn't be like that. It should be just one way.
Yeah, it shouldn't be like that because it's written how it's written.
1 Peter 2 and 9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that you should show forth the praises of him who have called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
Right. And that word holy, it means separate. So I might have 10 pairs of shoes at home, but this pair's my favorite. So all these other pairs, they can go by the front door on the shoe rack, but this one's going in the wardrobe because it's special. I'm going to separate it from the others. You understand? So that's what the Most High did with his chosen people. He separated us from everybody else. We're a separate nation. 3 and 4.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 3 and verse 3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? God forbid. Yea, let God be true, but every man a liar.
Right, so let God be true and every man a liar. So when
That's
these Christian
right.
pastors come out and they've got their little interpretations and it's all different, we don't deal with that. We go to what God says, to his words.
That's right.
Because let God be true and every man a liar. If I speak not according to this word, it's not true. But these words are true. So the difference is we read directly from the Bible and we stay true to the words. We don't make up our own kind of spice and mix it in. We just go according to what the Bible says and nothing else. You know?
Acts 5 and 29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey Yahweh rather than men.
Right. We ought to obey God rather than men. So, if these pastors come out and start telling you this and telling you that, if it's not according to God, to hell with it, throw that behind you. You don't need it. Whatever God commanded you, you need to do.
Jeremiah 3:23 and verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people, ye have scattered my flock and driven them away.
Right, so he's saying that he's going to destroy these pastors. They think they're doing a good work, but they actually scatter the flock. You know how there's different denominations. You've got Catholic, you've got trying to think, Baptist. Yeah, you've got all these different. You've got Pentecost. Yeah. You've got all these different denominations. That's scattering us. If we go into one of them, but you're in a different one, we're scattered. We're not on the same page. When we need to be on one accord. So these pastors actually scatter us. When we need to, in this, we're all together. You know what I'm saying?
This is Jeremiah chapter 12 and verse 10. Many pastors have destroyed my vineyard. They have trodden my portion underfoot. They have made my pleasant portion a desolate wilderness.
Right, because we don't have any structure now. We're destroyed. We're not keeping commandments, we actually have to keep the commandments in the Bible. Those aren't done away with like Christians say. You say you want to finish? What's that precept? You say you want to finish that precept? So, back to what I was saying when I said we don't own none of this. We're on the bottom of society. There's a reason for that. Anywhere you go in the world, the so-called black man, the so-called Hispanic man, the so-called Native Americans, always on the bottom. And there's a reason for that. And it's because we disobeyed the Most High. We read a minute ago when he said, if we obey him, he'll set us on high. Let's read the contrary.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
See, so he said if we don't obey him, then these curses would come upon us. And it said, cursed shall you be in the city. Now, who lives in all the slums? Who predominantly makes up the hood? So-called black man, yeah.
Especially America.
Yeah, especially in America.
All the Chicago and all them places.
Yep, exactly. And that's what it's saying here. It said, cursed shalt thou be in the city. You know, we don't own any of these shops. You know, live in the worst conditions. You know, don't live in nice neighborhoods.
So was he programmed to be like that?
It was supposed to be like that.
Why though? But why though?
For the redemption. You know, you ever heard you won't appreciate the sunshine if it's not for the rain? You have to go through the hard times to really appreciate the good times. So the Most High is basically, he's put us through this. I mean, we can't question his reasons, you know, but he's put us through this so that it'll be more glory when we actually come out on top.
But it seems not fair to me, man.
It seems not fair, but the thing is, it's not like he just dropped this on us like we disobeyed him. He gave us a choice. He said if we obey, then he'll bless us, but if we disobey, then he'll curse us. So at the end of the day, it's our own fault, and we've got to get back to it. Could you grab verse 46? Because these curses, we use them to recognize who we are.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
So it said these curses will be on us for a sign. So when you see Tesco Express, you see that sign, you know that you found Tesco. You see Card Factory, you know that you found Card Factory. You see Pandora, you know that you found Pandora. Because you see these signs. So when you see these curses predominantly on a group of people, that's a sign that you found the Israelites. Whoever in the world is going through these curses is the Israelites, and nobody else in the world is going through these other than so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American people. You know.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things.
So because we didn't serve the Most High, he sent our enemies and we had to serve them. It said in thirst, in hunger, and in nakedness. So if you want anything to drink, you got to go buy it from Tesco's. You got to go to them for your drinks. You want anything to eat, you got to go to them for your food. You want clothing, you got to go to them. You know, so it's a curse that we don't own anything. But
so what can we do to come up to the top?
I'm glad you asked that. So